I'm Monster Mike, and this is Bronco Garage.
So you bought a Bronco. Well, I did too. Now what? Well, first I worked through my safety checklist so I could drive it. I think you should do this too. Then I put it through a series of tests to see what it could and couldn't do. I wanted to find its weaknesses and its strengths. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this too, and most times you probably shouldn't, but these tests were critical for me to find out what the Bronco can do with the parts currently installed. And then, when I change out the parts and retest, we can see just how much of a difference it made. On this episode, we're going to outline what I like, what I don't like, and my fix-it list, with the actual parts I believe will fix the problems. If I am successful at fixing Huck's problems, it helps solve yours too. Then you can buy these parts with confidence and get your Bronco driving and functioning so much better. And do this without pissing off your wife, or for you single guys and girls, running your bank account dry over and over. Also, I hope this will prevent your Bronco being undrivable for months or even years. It's all about getting the most bang for the buck and building something fun and safe everyone can enjoy. All right, so let's start with what I like. Well, first off, it runs. In fact, it's got a hot little 302 in it. Man, that thing revs to like 5,500 RPM, and it just loves it up there. And you know what? It drives too, sorta. Not an automatic. Yeah, that's right. Rowing the gears. Man, that is something I've missed for a long time. It is great to have a 4-speed again. It's got just a little rust. I mean, come on, it's a Bronco. I mean, it's 51 years old, for God's sake, which is great that, it's manageable. Paint is okay. I mean, honestly, it's not bad for how old it is, and it's Daytona metallic blue, with an argent silver. Really, really a nice combination of colors. It's got a nice interior. I mean, honestly, it's got updated seats. There's some bling. It's clean. I really like it. Front disc brakes, a great upgrade for any Bronco. And, even though it's got its issues stopping, it's got good bones. Already has Duff suspension. I mean, if you know suspension in Broncos, Duff is the name of the game. So what a great start there. It's a classic Bronco. I mean, come on. Do we have to say any more? Okay, so let's move on to what I don't like. First things first, the gearing absolutely sucks. And we found that out the hard way at Windrock Park. So it's hard to control. Honestly, I don't know how much caster it has. I'd be surprised if it had any. It scares the crap out of you driving it on the road. The wheels. Now, for some of you, it's obvious. Those aren't a great looking rim, and the tires, they're really old. I like how aggressive they look, but they are just, they got no traction and they're really hard. So definitely need to update both of those. Paint on the grill, another eyesore for me. Honestly, it looks like Huck put lipstick on and then smeared it all over its face. And once you see it like that, you can't unsee it. Engine bay and bed liner. Okay, so obviously there's some cancer and some issues with, just the overall look and aesthetics, but man, there is so much bed liner on this dang Bronco. It's like they had a sale or a special in town and they just put it everywhere. Under the hood, on the frame, inside the cab. Oh man, it's freaking everywhere and it's peeling off and it's just looks terrible. Exhaust. All right, so you guys know how I feel about this exhaust. It sounds good, but it's right in your face and it stinks up the whole cab. It's gotta go. I still like dual exhaust, but it's gotta go further back, and I think we can make it even sound better. The rear bumper. It's not a bad piece, you know, and it has a lot of cool functions, but this Bronco is going to look classic and be functional on and off-road, and I really want to match the front and rear bumper to a more classic look. So it's got to go, and we got to find a better solution here. Moving on to the fix-it list. All right, so I think that everyone has been waiting for this moment because this is going to hit on so many problems and issues that all of us are having with these Broncos. So how do we fix these problems? The fix-it list is definitely what is going to get this Bronco back on the road, and more importantly, it's going to get it to where I'm going to enjoy driving it and I'm going to want to drive it every day. Swapping out the stock radius arms for T-Rex arms. This is definitely number one on my list. We need to get some caster back in the front end of this Bronco, and this is going to do it. Now, this is a great product, and if you are interested in it for your Bronco too, then I would suggest checking out the video card above, and there's going to be other video cards as well mentioned for the other products that I'm going to share with you next. So next is steering. Now, in order to address all the problems in the front end, we've got to take care of the caster, and we've got to take care of the toe and the geometry of the front end. I can't stress this enough. Caster is king. You've got to have good front end geometry, and you got to have a hassle-free ability to change the toe. That's what this new Dual Sport Heim steer is going to give me, and then the alignment at the end is going to dial it all in perfect. Axle wrap control. Now, some of you are probably wondering, well, what even is that? You know, like what kind of Greek language are you talking here? Well, you see how that pinion is moving up as I'm driving? Yeah, that's bad. And anytime you lift a Bronco with softer leaf springs, you're introducing axle wrap. An anti-wrap device is important here, and I'm going to go with the Torque Tamer and the bolt-on bracket for the axle because it's going to cure all these issues. Exhaust. You know, I can't stand this exhaust, so it's definitely going to get upgraded, and I am definitely going with a dual exhaust setup made by James Duff. And the reason why I'm doing that, because it takes it all the way back behind the rear tire, and it still is a true dual, so I'm going to get the sound I want, and I can do it all right in my driveway. This is going to sound amazing. The rear brakes. Okay, I discovered that these rear brakes aren't even doing their job. I really don't know what the problem is, so I'm going to pull them apart and figure out just what is going on in there because I need brakes. This is bad. So the carburetor, I need to get it running better. Obviously at Windrock, it kept falling on its face, but after looking at it more closely, being a 650 CFM carb, it's really big for this Bronco's engine. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and swap it out and go with a smaller CFM carburetor, and then also make it to where it works better on and off-road. Rear bumper. This is going to be one of my favorite upgrades. It's such an easy swap, and the benefits of the aesthetics and the functionality are just 1,000-fold. Gears and lockers. Okay, full transparency, this was actually number 3 on my list, and the guy with the pen just forgot to put it on there. Dang it, Don! Well, I'll tell you right now, this is such a huge part of making this Bronco drive better. It has got such a tall gearing in the transmission, and with the stock 355 gears in the axles, it just can't get out of its own way. Not only that, it doesn't have a front locker at all. So we're going to definitely have to upgrade the gears and then also upgrade that terrible Detroit locker in the rear and put one in the front. All right, guys, so that's a wrap on the fix-it list. I am super excited to get into this and start seeing if we can get this Bronco driving and handling better. Now, I'm going to include a full description down below, so you guys will have links to all the parts that I'm going to be using, as well as videos on how to install them. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next episode, where we're going to tear down and install a bunch of these parts and really showcase how that whole process goes. Hey, thanks for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and check us out on social media as well. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.